Hey, fearless girls, it's your fearless girls leader, Dr. T. How about you take a moment, tag somebody, tell somebody, share it on your timeline, let everybody know it is time for the Fearless Fridays Nugget. Let's do this. Why don't you take a moment, do it, tag somebody, tell somebody, make sure you share it on your timeline. You do not want to miss this Fearless Fridays Nugget. It's good to have you all on. Thanks for coming on and hanging with me for a few minutes for us Nugget. For the Nugget. It's always good to spend a few times with you on a Friday. And I am glad that you are on. If you are on Facebook, if you are on YouTube, however you're catching us, Holy Connections, wherever you're catching us at, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me for our nugget. It's good to be on. It's Good Friday. Somebody put Good Friday in the timeline. Now, while you're putting Good Friday in the timeline, how about you take a moment and tag at least three other fearless girls or fearless guys so that they can be a part as well. I don't want them to miss it. Listen, we've been in Holy Week. This is Good Friday. You know, I'm a Jesus lover. It's who I am, is what I do, and how I roll. Listen, it's Friday and it's Good Friday. And I heard my husband say this today, like other Fridays are bad Fridays, but this is Good Friday. We're going to talk about that a little bit tonight. But I definitely want you to tag at least three people and let them know that they need to tune in. Uh, I definitely had a couple of things that I wanted to do, but let me hit. I decided to go. I think I wore Gold Digger last week as well, but I did Gold Digger because I'm rocking, a little, some little yellow, so I wanted to kind of rock with that same, had that same little flow. You know how we do it. And Trap Gloss is a great supporter of Fearless Girls, and I want you to get you some. Go to trapgloss.com and get you some Trap Gloss. This Gold Digger is a limited edition. It's a limited edition bottle. And I was just talking to some of the team about that today, just trying to determine if we're gonna bring it back, or if the color is popular, then we'll bring it back and it may just be in our original packaging, but you will not get this limited edition packaging uh, when we do our next uh, creation. So that's just how we roll. Anyway, it's Holy Week, and it has been a great week for those who are connected and who hang out with us at Heritage. I am the CEO and founder of TrapGloss.com. I am the CEO and founder of Fearless Girls. Yes, and I am one of the senior pastors and founders of Heritage Christian Center as well. So I wear many hats, but it's all good. And that's what we do. Anyway, that's Trap Gloss. And then Holy Week's been really good. We've done some things this week have been really good. We've done some surrendering, we've done some sacrificing, some support, some strengthening, some speak up. Tomorrow we're doing step up. Sunday we're doing show up. It has been a really incredible week. Sacred Slow, I think Sacred Slow got just about everybody who participated. So really good. Anyway, let's jump on as we commemorate Good Friday. It's Good Friday, not like it's a bad Friday, but it's Good Friday. And so we would do more. It would do us a great service when we talk about Good Friday. To remember more than just the cross. We have to recognize and remember what the cross produced. So let's start by correcting some things. Somebody put correction in the timeline. Like, yep, twice. Correction. And yes, that it is a gold digger replay smiley. Absolutely. But correction is important because we have to start by correcting some error. We have to correct some error. Otherwise, my nugget is going to seem seem off. It may not seem off to those who ascribe to a certain philosophy, but it would be off if I did not first correct the error before I go into the nugget. And that is, we cannot say that Jesus died on a Friday, got up on a Sunday, and act like that math is 3 days. Let's just talk about it. I think correction. That's why it's important. Yeah, I'm sacred. So I'm just looking at some of y'all comments. But anyway, I'm still totally focused. But we can't do that. It's like, let's count it out. Let's do that. And one of the reasons this is important is because a lot of times we do things based on muscle memory and cliche instead of walking through truth. And truth is important. Thank you, Cynthia, for putting correction. All right, I see you, Drika. I see correction. But this is the thing. I said, let's count it out, right? If I check into a hotel Friday when it's my check-in time and they charge me for 3 days, I'm leaving on Monday. I'm not leaving early Sunday morning. Just do the math. Let's just do the math. And I want to say that because, all right, let's be clear. We commemorate Good Friday as it relates to the crucifixion, and we honor the resurrection on Sunday because that's when we go to church. Just to add context to it, to give further context to it, my mom transitioned on May 19th, 2022. That date never changes in my head. It never does. I don't decide that she transitioned in April or May or June. I know she transitioned May 19th, right? So that date, like I said, it never changes, yet Resurrection Sunday slides depending on the lunar calendar and the spring equinox. And I want to put that out there because if we act like we are not doing the math, we get caught up in different cliches and we miss completely truth, and it causes people to question truth when they don't have to. Now let's not split hairs over it. Let's just know the truth. We're not going to split hairs over it. Let's just know the truth. So for my nugget tonight, I'm referencing Friday and Sunday as a parallel, but not as an accurate biblical message from God's word, because Friday to Sunday, let's not do that. Let's not call that 3 days. Again, just think about a hotel. If you check and you paid for 3 days, you are not going to check out on Sunday morning. You're not going to do it. You expect to leave there Monday. And I hope that makes sense. Let's do the math. I see you all. All right, so today's nugget is this is not the end. Somebody put that in the timeline. This is not the end. This is not the end. Because the crucifixion may have looked like a loss, but it actually was a setup. And setups oftentimes can be very good. Setups oftentimes they can be very good. The world actually thought that it was over, but Jesus knew it was providential. And I love it because the plan actually was officially set in motion, and that is why, even though the world thought it was over, he knew that it wasn't. It was the plan being set in motion. So let me give you 3 points. It's my nugget. 3 points. 3 points. First, the pain of the crucifixion had purpose. So the pain had purpose. The cross wasn't random; it was intentional. And if you look through scripture, I'm a Jesus lover. It's who I am, is what I do, is how I roll. And everything that I teach you on, everything that is the foundation of how I mentor, is mentored in the fact that me being a Jesus lover allows me to help show you how to be fearless. So I'm saying that now listen, you don't have to love my Jesus to love me, and the principles are still the principles. And I'm not going to beat you up for having a different philosophy, but don't be mad, because this is the foundation of who I am and how I roll. And I can teach you how to win. Make no mistake. Anyway, the pain had purpose, right? And like I said, the cross, it wasn't random. It was very intentional. And scripture tells us very clearly that Before the foundation of the world, God knew what he was going to do. God knows the end from the beginning, and he knew that this pain was going to have purpose. In fact, every nail, every lash that Jesus took, every moment, every ounce of pain had purpose behind it. And God does so much in types and shadows. He does so much that way. And to know that that 39 lashes and all of it, it all has meaning. But this is a nugget, and I can't go into teaching that. But just know that everything about it had purpose. It was intentional. And your pressure, it isn't pointless. It's producing something. And I want you to believe that your pain can have purpose. It does not mean that we seek out pain. It does mean that we take that pain and we produce something with it. Many of you have heard me say that if you're going to fail, fail forward and pick something up while you're down there, but don't stay there. And that's why the pain had purpose is so important for us, because your pressure is not pointless. The things that you have gone through, it should be producing something for you. So that's the first piece. The second piece is his silence. Jesus' silence was a providential pause. Somebody put providential pause in the timeline. It's a providential pause. Why? I'm so glad you asked. Because crucifixion day was loud with pain, but then came days of silence. I mean, just let's just walk that through. Just imagine it for a little bit. Think about it from this perspective. You know, when Jesus gave up the ghost, I was thinking about this while I was considering the nugget, and I was thinking about the providential pause, and I thought, man, I can't imagine how somber and how quiet it was at that time when Jesus gave up the ghost, because really it seemed like everything was over. It didn't look like it could possibly have looked like nothing was happening, but things definitely were happening. Things were definitely happening. Absolutely. The veil, it was rent in two, making it clear that now we have direct access to God. Earthquakes occurred. The sky was dark for hours and then with the resurrection, the tomb, even tombs were opened where some saints actually were raised to life. Oh, yes, there were things definitely happening. Oh, yes, and I'm doing that for dramatic effect. Even though there was a strong degree of a pause, because it's like, wait a minute, the Messiah has been crucified. So, in that providential pause moment, I want you to think about it from this perspective for you. Just because things are super quiet and on pause doesn't mean that God has stopped moving. God is still moving. Somebody put in the timeline, God is still moving. Finally, what seemed like the ending was a planned plot twist. It was a planned plot twist. Somebody put planned plot twist. That is, say that 5 times fast, right? Planned plot twist. See, here's the reason we're rapping with that, because they buried Jesus thinking that it was done. But resurrection was already scheduled. Absolutely. Resurrection was already on the schedule. Remember, I said, he planned the end from the beginning. He knew what he was doing. He planned this thing out. It was very strategic. Resurrection was already scheduled. And what may look like or even feel like an ending in your life can really just be a transition point. And I want you to think about that, because whatever you've been going through, this is not the end. This is not the end. I hope you got it. This is not the end. The crucifixion represents the fall, but we know the resurrection represents the rise. And yes, I'm going to tie this right in with She Rises. You better believe it, because in July, our time in the Shy is not going to just be an event. It is going to be a declaration. And I want you to be ready for it. I'm sure all of us have had what I'll call Friday moments, where we've been seriously hurt, feeling wounded to the point of no return, or where things just simply did not make sense, or even things could have felt super, super final. But hear me clearly. Your Friday moment does not have to be the end. It does not have to be the end. You were never meant to stay in Friday. You weren't. And you were built for resurrection. Yes, you were called to rise. And that's why I want you to be ready to be in the room with me. If you've been carrying things that are heavy, if life has tried to convince you that this is how things are going to end, I need you in the room with me for She Rises, because we're not just gathering to sit in what was, we're stepping into what's next. And I want you to be ready for what's next. If you're ready for what's next, put 726 in the timeline. 726. Yes, 726 for July 2026. Why? Because this is going to be your resurrection season. This is your rising moment, and you got to be ready. And I want you to be ready to be in the room with me for She Rises. That's right, July 22nd through the 27th. You do not want to miss it. She Rises is where things are happening different, and I want you to be ready. Listen, when I tell you we have some of the most amazing times when we go on these trips. We really, really do. And I don't want you to miss any of them. Do not miss it. Now, we do what we do, but I can tell you, you definitely want to be in the room. If you want to be in the room, put I want to be in the room. I want you in the room for She Rises. That's right. And we are going to have an amazing, amazing time. And you don't want to miss any of it. Not one bit. You don't want to miss any of the time that we are going to be in Chicago. And I'm really, really looking forward to it. I want you to put in the timeline, if you are going to be in the room. If you already know you're going to be in the room, put I'll be in the room. If you are still believing for making this trip with us for She Rises, then I want you to put I want to be in the room. But if you already know, put I'll be in the room. If you're still working on some stuff, say I want to be in the room. I see 726. I see you, Trail. I see you, Levette. We are going to be in the room. And let me tell you, I just want to ask you this question. I'm looking at y'all at y'all notes. I want to ask you this question. Will you stay in what's comfortable? Will you stay in what seems to be mediocrity? Excuse me, will you stay in contentment? Will you stay in what seems to be the end? Or will you step up and will you rise? I'm ready for you to step up. I'm ready for you to rise. And I don't want you to miss any of it. So I love the fact that the registration is there, right there in the QR code. That's the information. You can just screenshot that QR code so that you can register. And I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you to invite some ladies to go with you on this journey. I know everybody can't take this journey, but I definitely want you to take this journey with me. I want you to be on this journey with me because you don't want to miss it. I see you. I want to be in the room. I know I changed it up a little bit on y'all, but if you know you're going to be in the room, you're already registered, say, I'll be in the room. If you're still